Hey, good morning. It's Wednesday morning here in Cypress, Texas. I haven't done a walk and talk for a while. Last night, my goodness, Michael Holgram. So he's a new dad. Right? And his wife had a long labor, okay, and they chose not to do C-section, right? And he had his boy, and it was great to hear him talk about it, and the experience. They had a natural childbirth, and he's talking about the milk, and when you have that baby, I mean, especially the first one, right? It's like, oh, there's a lot of drama, it's when you have a child, right? and talking about the baby, nursing and getting that milk, and that led to the teaching, which he did an incredible job. I mean, it was that he's a perfect example of a man maturing. I mean, the level of maturity once you have a significant other, once you have your family. I mean, there's a part of a man's brain that doesn't get engaged until they do that. Any man, but once that happens, it's like that superhuman side gets activated once you've become a husband and a father, right? And what it is is that desire gets engaged. Once that desire gets part of your brain gets activated, look out, right? And so that's what happened with Michael last night, and what he's teaching. I mean, he is, I remember watching him, and he's like very detail oriented when it came to like the audiovisual side, and just fierce about it, and he reminded me of a chief in the Navy, and how they are about their department and all that, right? A good chief, right? And I told him, that's what you remind me of. But I'll tell you what, yeah. And then there's a part of, I mean, toward the end of his teaching last night, when it came to me, I've always had this ever since the Panama invasion, right? What I did, I got some trigger time, and then it was like almost a year after, or like 9 months afterwards, I found out that where I was shooting at, the next morning they found like 4 bloody drag marks from the direction I was shooting. There was a bush on the fence, and that was the last place I saw any of the bad guys go. So I shot into the bush, and I saw something moving. I didn't know if it was sticks or arms and legs, I don't know, right? And then And it was another, like 3 or 2 years later, that I found out I was the only one shooting in the bush, right? And so, okay, maybe that was me that did it, right? But it was, it was like sticking my finger in a glass of water and taking it out. That's all the emotion I felt about that, right? Which made me, that's what bothered me. Like I'm a schizophrenic or something. Or psychopath. That's the word, psychopathic, right? No emotion about it at all, right? And that has bothered me. Well, then after he got done preaching last night, I got to look at myself, and I'm like, I have compassion for people, and I feel good now knowing that I am, and it's not something that's it's not a forced emotion. I truly have compassion for people, all right, and I want to help when I care about them, and I didn't really recognize that about myself until his preaching last night. All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Bye-bye.